caught my husband cheating on me while I'm 12 weeks pregnant. I 26-year-old female opened my husband's 32-year-old male Snapchat and it was a very explicit picture and caption from a girl. He's sitting not 20 feet from me and I don't know how to handle this. I've been with my husband for 5 years, married for 1.5. I've never once doubted his fidelity. He's great, super smart, funny, handsome, and, I thought, loyal. He's never given me a reason to doubt him or be suspicious. I thought it was kind of odd when he downloaded Snapchat. He's not big on social media. I have one, but I'm not very active. We rarely snap each other. He said his friends were really active and he liked it better than Facebook. So, as I said, I've never had any reason not to trust him, so I thought nothing of it. This morning, my husband was in the shower and left his phone on my nightstand. I was half asleep when his phone started chirping and woke me up. We both have the same phone and ringtone for text messages. Not knowing that he had put his phone on my nightstand for whatever reason, I thought it was my phone in my half-asleep state. Despite his black phone case, I didn't even notice and I looked at who had texted. It said Mom. Okay, my mom texted me. I can ignore that until I'm actually awake. But under that was a Snapchat notification. A snap from someone named Roxy. I was like, who the F is Roxy and why is she Snapchatting me? I opened it and bam, it's a picture of a pussy. And not the meowing kind with 4 legs and a tail. The caption said, I want your tongue inside me again. Now, I immediately thought it was a mistake. But I was alert now after being awoken by a vulva. I pretty quickly realized that this was my husband's phone. I felt like I was going to crap the bed and started to sweat. I looked at his contacts on Snapchat and she has a yellow heart next to her name. I looked up WTF that means and it means they are best friends. WTF. I feel like I'm going to be sick. I didn't do any other snooping because honestly, I know what I'll find. I just don't understand how he could do this. We're happy. I thought we were happy. We have sex at least 4 times a week. Here's the real kicker. I'm almost 12 weeks pregnant with our first child. He's sitting in the recliner about 20 feet from me and I just can't find the words to confront him. How do I say what I need to say? There is no way I am somehow overreacting or misreading this situation, is there? I'm heartbroken and don't know what to do. Update 1. First and foremost, thank you all for your love and support. I feel it from here. Honestly, thank you. It's amazing to me that strangers care so much about my baby and me. Love back to all of you. So, husband knows something is up. I don't know if he saw that I opened a Snapchat from Roxy and is afraid of what I saw and afraid to bring it up, or if he's clueless and can just tell I'm upset about something. He's been asking me if I'm okay or if something is wrong about every hour. I told him my sister was having a hard time today. Ironically, she just broke up with her boyfriend. Why? He cheated. And I was going to go over to her place for dinner and to spend the night with her. I'm here now. My sister is 20 and a whiz at the social media thing. She stalked his Facebook to see if this Roxy person popped up anywhere. She looked through his friends' friends. Bingo, we found her. Well, at least pretty sure. I didn't see her face on the Snapchat. The screen was too full of her crotch. She's Facebook friends with my husband's good friend. She is listed as a receptionist at my husband's friend's law firm. My husband works a couple of blocks from the law firm and he stops by often to grab lunch with his friend. That would explain how they met. Still formulating a plan for confrontation, trying to get as much information as possible first. My sister wants to burn his life to the ground, and honestly, I do too. But I'm going to address this in the most adult way possible so that I can walk away from him with my head held high and be a deserving role model to my baby girl. Not sure it's a girl, just a feeling. Good news. My uncle is a lawyer. Most of what he deals with are divorces. I've already contacted him and asked if we could discuss some potential legal issues. Didn't specify what yet. Feels like something I should do in person during our meeting. I told him it was urgent. We are meeting tomorrow morning. I will try to update as much as I can, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you all again, internet strangers. Update 2. Again, I am overwhelmed by the support and love I've received from everyone. It feels great to be comforted and cheered on by you all. Thank you so much. So, husband cheated. He has been since maybe 2 weeks before last Christmas, according to him. I was very calm when confronting him and took the advice many of you gave me by telling him that he needs to explain to me who Roxy is and why she is his best friend on Snapchat. His face gave him away immediately, but he still tried to lie to me at first. He said that she works with his friend and they met when his friend invited her out to lunch with the two of them. At first, he claimed he only met her about 2 months ago. He said that they're best friends because he doesn't receive many Snapchats from others and she is extremely active on the app. He said she just sends random and is really into fitness, so she sends a lot of inspirational snaps on being healthy and living a better life. He said that every once in a while, he'll send her something back, like a picture of a cheeseburger or something just to tease her about her level of health consciousness. First, I asked why he didn't just tell me about her. He said he didn't even think about it because she's just an acquaintance, not even a friend. Then I asked if he'd ever received anything even remotely inappropriate from her. He answered with, "Not on purpose." I'm assuming he went with that because he knew I opened that Snapchat and he probably knew it was a bad one. I asked what "not on purpose" means. He got very defensive, started raising his voice and saying he doesn't need to explain what that means, that sometimes people accidentally send the wrong Snapchats to the wrong people. Then he had the nerve to say something along the lines of, "I feel like I'm on trial here. People warned me that you'd get crazy when you're pregnant, but I never thought it'd be this bad." Now, as some of you mentioned in my last post, it seems amazing that I'm able to keep such a level head. That is because I was raised by a mother who always told me that I never accomplish anything with anger, that you can be emotional, passionate, upset, etc. without ever raising your voice. Messages received quietly and concisely are just as loud and clear as messages received through yelling and screaming. That is how I have lived my life for 26 years, with the exception of just a few blow-ups. This moment was an exception. I didn't exactly yell and scream, but I became furious. For him to try to blame this on me being pregnant. How unoriginal and offensive. Long story short, he said he'd never seen me this crazy, and I told him that I'd never seen a picture of another girl's pussy on my husband's Snapchat before. He came back with that I shouldn't have looked at his Snapchat. I came back with that it was an accident, but even if it hadn't been, there shouldn't be any reason he's receiving Snapchats like that for me to see accidentally or not in the first place. I told him that I may be pregnant, but I'm also an intelligent person and I am his wife, so I knew he was lying and I deserved to know the truth. I asked if I could see his text messages to see if he's been texting Roxy. He said sure, no messages. Then I asked to see his Facebook messages. He looked like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He told me no. I asked why. He finally broke and started to cry. Told me he couldn't let me see the messages because they would hurt me, because they were inappropriate. Then it all came out. They screwed in the backseat of her car the first night they met. This is already long, so I'll spare you all the details. But it's been an ongoing affair for months. No, they did not always use protection. Although I was recently screened for STIs, I'll be getting checked again in light of this information. My uncle already assured me that if he was unfaithful, we would cream him in court. Really, the only thing I'm willing to fight him tooth and nail for is our home. I put a lot of effort and money into making this home my dream space. I won't be seeking spousal support, but I will seek child support. I'm obviously heartbroken and told him to go stay in a hotel or with Roxy for all I cared. My mom and sister stayed with me last night and let me sob all over them for hours. Right now I'm sort of numb, but I'm also thinking very clearly. I know what my next 10 moves are and I feel supported and secure in my decision to leave him and keep my baby. A few things I just wanted to clarify. My husband is not a lawyer, his good friend is. There was some concern for my success in court if my husband is a lawyer. His friend is in environmental law, so, while I'm sure he can provide some advice, he will not be my husband's divorce lawyer. There were suggestions of me terminating my pregnancy. I fully support the right to choose, and I would probably terminate the pregnancy if I was in a different financial position and lacked a support system. However, I work as a marketing manager for a large company. Not only does this allow me the privilege of working from home about 50% of the time, but it also grants me financial independence. I do not rely on my husband for money, and I really never have. He works in tech, so, while he makes a good salary, I will have no need for spousal support. I have a phenomenal support system. This baby will be loved so dearly by so many. Yes, I will have to deal with my husband for the rest of my life if I have this child, and it will make future relationships for me more difficult, but it is worth it. I've wanted this baby since day one, and I am her mother, which means that I am strong enough to raise her alone because I have to be strong enough. Here's to hoping for a speedy divorce. I'm ready to be done with this marriage. Which is crazy because just a few days ago I thought my life was as close to perfect as you could get. TLDR, husband admitted to an affair. I will be proceeding with a divorce and will keep our baby. I'm numb but calm and feel good about my decisions and how I handled the situation. I know there is a long road ahead of me, and this will all probably really hit me soon. When it does, I'll mourn and grieve the end of what I had thought was a happy union. Right now I'm in self-preservation mode and much more focused on how to come out of this in the best position possible. Thank you so much for all the advice and support, Reddit. Update 3. I know it has been only a short time since I posted this update, but I need to tell you all how amazing all of you are. Wow, this much support is just Well, I wish I could reply to all of your comments and messages, but because of the volume, I'm just going to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you who read my posts, commented, thought of me, wished my baby and me the best, messaged me, and anything else. I am currently at my parents' condo, sitting outside at their pool, sunbathing my little baby bump, and reading each and every one of your amazing and empowering comments. I just want you all to have that image, that you have made me happy and content in a time when I am short on both. This is proof that love does exist, even if it doesn't within my, now over, relationship. And that is a powerful thing. Love to you all. Update 4. I was going to post more details on what happened during the confrontation with my husband, etc. But then I decided against it. I should keep some details private. It's likely my husband has seen this post. I will leave you with this. My dad and I were up late talking last night, and, as usual, he had the perfect thing to say to me. He told me that weak people are afraid of strong people. He told me to keep on terrifying the weak ones. That way, the only people who won't fear you are the bravest, strongest of people, and those are the people who are worthy of you. Then he said my husband is a spineless turd who couldn't kick it with the strongest woman in the world. Just thought I'd leave you with that and encourage everyone to be terrifying by being strong and not standing for nonsense. This is the last I will post on the matter. I have a lot ahead of me with everything and will probably go quiet on Reddit for a while. Time to get ready for court and to be terrifying. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. Love to all of you and best wishes. Now let's see what the community has to say. Opinion number 1 says, I've been thinking of you since I saw the original post a few days ago. It broke my heart to hear this. You deserve 1,000 times better than a man like him. You've handled the entire thing with utter grace by the sounds of things. I for one could not keep my cool, especially if I had pregnancy hormones whizzing around my body. I am flawed by your measured response and strength to leave someone who quite clearly doesn't deserve you. That is true strength. Your child is lucky to have such a strong mother and role model. All the best for the future. You deserve happiness. Opinion number 2 says, I think your mother raised you smartly. To be honest, it's the people who don't show emotion and scream and go crazy that we should be afraid of. I also think a lot of people are afraid of this scenario exactly happening. Maybe they don't have the confidence and strong support, and that's okay. Every person and situation is different. But I think a lot of people also back down once the confrontation happens because they rely on the influence of others and all the other societal crap to influence them. Opus, you and your fam are da real MVP here. Opinion number 3 says, he meets her for the first time and screws her in the back of her car. He's a worthless human being. It was that easy. Haha, what an idiot. He's losing an incredible woman. Women like Roxy will stop the chase after they realize the wife has left him. There's no longer an ego boost from him being chosen over his wife and feels so validated and so much hotter. She's not looking for a relationship lol. She just liked the high of being better than another woman because the husband chose her. She's not, by the way. I'm laughing my arse off at both of these two losers. This is not legal advice. I am a divorce attorney. Here are my thoughts. You need to find yourself an awesome therapist ASAP. When you pop that baby out, it is going to be so hard to co-parent. Look into reconstituting your estate. Unfortunately, nowadays cheating is a common occurrence in family court. The best way to combat it is to recoup all the money he may have spent on that chick. Ask for an entire Facebook download in Discovery. It will show all the messages he has ever sent to anyone. Use it as leverage. Most cheaters don't like to go to court to air their laundry. This gives you a stepping stool. Wow, this story is horrendous. My huge piece of advice for OP, do not date anybody until after the divorce. Might not have even crossed your mind, might be a year before the divorce is finalized, but do not date. Doing so can instantly destroy any infidelity case you have and destroy you in court. This happened to my dad. Mom cheated on him. They separated for over a year, and he dated like a month before the final divorce hearing. She claimed he was always cheating with his new girlfriend, so that is why she cheated. An existing relationship is hard to disprove, especially when they did know each other at the time. They split things 50-50 instead of her getting basically nothing. How about you guys? What do you guys think about this whole situation, and what would your advice be for OP? Let's all discuss in the comments section below. I think my girlfriend might be trying to secretly get pregnant. Okay, the first thing I should state is that I greatly care for this girl and can imagine myself having a future with her. I really enjoy being with her. We've been together for a little over a year, and I'm certain that she feels the same way. I should also note that we have, up until recently, never really had any major issues, fights in our relationship. For these reasons, we have been talking a lot lately about the future and where we see ourselves over the next few years. However, while she feels we are ready to settle down, I want to wait a little longer so that we can enjoy our youth for a few more years. This has caused some disagreement between us and did cause her to express concern over having to wait too long, but I thought that this was nothing major and told her to wait just a few more years. As for why I think she may be trying to get pregnant, all I can say is that her behavior has been strange over the last 2 months. First, I should note that, over the course of our relationship, we both have agreed that I would either use condoms or pull out, since she sometimes fails to remember to take her birth control. But she recently told me that I could start finishing inside her because she was going to do better about remembering to take her pill. This caught me by surprise, and I told her that I was okay with continuing on the way things were, which seemed to upset her a bit. She didn't really get mad, but she seemed really insistent on me finishing inside her and promised me that it would feel a lot better. At this point, I had no reason to not believe her sincerity, so I did it a few times but then told her that I just wasn't entirely comfortable because I knew she had been forgetful in the past. This comment, for whatever reason, seemed to hurt her, so I suggested that maybe she look into an IUD as a possible solution to our dilemma. She responded by saying that she would rather stay on the pill, and that I needed to just relax and enjoy the feeling. One more thing I should note is that I have noticed she almost will no longer stimulate me to orgasm unless it's vaginally, which she claims is because she doesn't want to tire me out and wants my best. However, this has never been an issue before and is another recent development which doesn't make sense. At first I thought this behavior was a little strange, but no big deal, right? However, I finally started to get a little suspicious when she started actively questioning what I would do if she got pregnant. And by actively questioning, I mean that she brought it up constantly. I told her that we would discuss that if it happened and that we should consider all options in such a situation. This caused a fight between us where she ended up crying and saying that I didn't care about her and that I was being selfish by refusing to discuss our future, specifically state what I would do if she got pregnant. But we again talked things over and I apologized, although I'm still not sure what I did wrong. Things seemed to get better from there, but I did notice that she was talking a lot about babies and children, especially considering that we had discussed children only a handful of times before the last 2 months. Specifically, though, she has been talking them up, if you will. That is, she has been talking about how fun it would be to have a baby and how cute they are, and she also started saying repeatedly that I would make a great dad. My only response to this has been to remind her that I would love to have children but just not right now, to which she has consistently responded by saying something like sometimes fate has a different plan for us and that we have to be flexible. However, what finally led me to believe that she was purposefully trying to get pregnant was when she started offering to buy my condoms. This was really unusual, as I have always bought them myself throughout our relationship and before that. When I asked her why the sudden urge to do this, she said that it was because it was convenient and something that all girlfriends do. I tried to press the issue further, but she ended the conversation by saying that she just wanted to take care of me. As of now, she hasn't bought any for me and I have no proof that she could be poking holes in the condoms, but I feel really uneasy. I don't want to hurt her by refusing to have sex with her, but I also don't want to have a baby now. This isn't helped by the fact that she still wants me to finish in her when we have sex. In fact, it has gotten to the point where I feel bad if I don't comply, even though I feel I shouldn't give in to her because I want so badly to trust her. I think I really would be devastated if I found out that she has been trying to trick me into getting her pregnant. Anyway, am I being paranoid about my girlfriend trying to get pregnant, or do I have cause to be concerned? Also, how should I proceed and confront her about my concerns? TLDR, my girlfriend's behavior has been really strange lately, which has led me to believe that she might be trying to secretly get pregnant. Edit. Thanks to all of you for your advice. It has really made me think about my relationship with my girlfriend and also led me to the realization that I need to talk with her about my concerns, so I plan on talking to her tomorrow. I want to give her the chance to tell me if I did or said something to make her think that I didn't want her in my future and possibly talk about why she has been so concerned with babies lately. I'm hoping that maybe this is just a phase or that I'm just being paranoid, but if that isn't the case, I'm not sure what I will do. I would hate to break up with her because I do care for her, but I also know that neither one of us is ready to have a baby. I will update after the conversation. Update 1. Anyway, so, as I told you guys, I had a conversation with my girlfriend last night about some of her recent behavior, like wanting me to finish inside her, offering to buy condoms for me, talking excessively about babies and the like, etc. And also about the concerns that I was having about these things in our relationship. And it did not go very well, to say the least. I started off by telling her that I felt like we had been having problems communicating lately and maybe this had led us to have a misunderstanding about where we felt we were going. I then told her that I felt like maybe in our conversations about our future together I had made her think that my unwillingness to settle down was a sign I was still looking around or didn't want to commit to her, when it really was just my belief that we should use this time to grow closer and work on our relationship. However, I let her know that I wanted to marry her, but that I just didn't feel ready for those things yet. I didn't want to be hostile, so I first tried to reassure her of my commitment to her before I confronted her about trying to possibly get pregnant in secret. This is the point where our conversation started to go badly. I then questioned her about why she had been so concerned lately with babies. Was it because several people we know have just recently gotten pregnant or had babies? Or was there something else that had caused this development? She became defensive at first, saying that all girls think about babies a lot. But I eventually got her to admit that these pregnancies had made her think more about having a child and realize how badly she wanted one now. I told her that I understood how powerful this urge was, but that I felt very strongly neither of us was ready to have a child, and that we should wait, which was where things really got bad. She said something like, "We love each other, so would it be so terrible if we have a baby now since we plan to someday?" I told her that the timing wasn't right and that I was becoming increasingly concerned that maybe she wasn't trying as hard not to get pregnant, and brought up some of the reasons why. I said that I had talked about this with some other people and that they, too, thought it seemed like she might almost be trying to get pregnant. Here, she started crying and said that I was being selfish and wouldn't even consider having a baby now. She then said that she loved me and wanted my baby and felt like I was scared and had no legitimate reasons for waiting, so she admitted to taking matters into her own hands in order to give me the push I needed to marry her and start a family. This is the point in the conversation where she told me that I may not have a choice in waiting to have a baby and then said she was pregnant. I asked her if she knew for sure, and she said that she has been to her OB-GYN to confirm it and didn't tell me because she wanted to see how I would react to the idea. I think at this point we both were in tears. I accused her of manipulating me and deceiving me, and she told me that this baby was the best thing for us. She then went and got the ultrasound photo or something and tried to show it to me, but I told her I need to think, which led her to hug me and say that what's done is done and that there was no point in me trying to fight it, as she was not going to get an abortion. I left after that and haven't talked to her since. I don't know if there is anything I can do at this point. But if she has the baby, I will be the best dad I can be. As for our relationship, I can't imagine that I could ever be with her again given that she broke my trust. I suppose the moral of the story is to always wear condoms and never take for granted that a girl is using her birth control, no matter how much you trust her. TLDR, though my girlfriend was secretly trying to get pregnant, and it turns out she was and is now pregnant. Edit, I can't thank you guys enough for all the advice, information, and support that you all have given me. I feel much more confident about making decisions going forward. For the record, I intend to contact an attorney today just in case she is pregnant, and I then plan to call her and insist she take a home pregnancy test and make sure she understands that we have no future together. We'll see what happens from there. Update 2. I wanted to give you guys another update. But also I would like to thank you all for the support and advice you have given me. It helped me gain a sense of direction and understand how to proceed after my confrontation with my ex the other night. Anyway, that next day I decided that I should first tell my parents and close friends what had happened in case she decided to try and slander me. Needless to say, they were all shocked and maybe a little hesitant to believe things were really as bad as I said, but they told me they would support me and help me any way that they could. I'm glad I did this now because my stepfather was able to recommend an attorney to me, which I wound up contacting immediately. I was able to meet with him that same day and informed him of the situation, and he said that the first step would be to find out if she really was pregnant, and then we could discuss more about custody and legal action once we were sure. We talked some more about me contacting her to tell her that we definitely were over and if I could confront her about the validity of the ultrasound and pregnancy. And he told me that would be fine, given that I did not get into a physical confrontation with her or do anything stupid. He also told me that I might had better take a witness along just in case she claimed I tried to rape her or assault her. After I finished up at my attorney's office, I went and got a couple different pregnancy tests and then called up my ex. I told her that I had been too hasty the other night, and I was just shocked and caught by surprise and wanted her to forgive me for acting so childishly. I asked her if I could come by and talk, and she told me that she would really like that. I then called up a friend of mine and asked if he would come with me, so I picked him up and we drove over to her place. I asked him to give me a few minutes to talk to her about the ultrasound, and then I would come back to get him. Anyway, I talked to her a few minutes and tried to seem contrite, and then I asked to see the ultrasound photo. She brought it to me, and it didn't have her name on it or any of her information. It was just a plain ultrasound photo, and I remembered some of you told me that it should have her name and information on it. I talked some about the photo and asked her if the procedure was uncomfortable and if they rubbed something on her stomach. She confirmed that they did, which I also remembered was incorrect. After this, I confronted her and told her that she had been clearly lying to me because of these inconsistencies. She said that I didn't know what I was talking about and that she forgave me and knew I would love being married and being a father once I stopped worrying. I told her I needed to get something from the car and that I would be back. I returned with the pregnancy test and my friend and told her that, if she really was pregnant, all she had to do was take these tests, and then we could go from there. She, at first, refused to do this and told me that I was being cruel to her and the baby. I told her that I just wanted to make sure that she was pregnant, since there were so many things that didn't make sense. I then told her that unless she did this we were over and that I would never see her again. She finally agreed to take one, and I insisted that she do it in front of me, like many of you suggested. We had another mini fight about this, and she accused me of not trusting her. Long story short, I finally got her to agree to do this by repeating that I would not have anything to do with her unless she did this. I can't say I was, at this point, surprised that the first test came back negative. She insisted that this was an error, so I got another one of the tests and told her to try again. This caused another mini fight, and she only agreed after I repeated my threat to leave her. This test also came out negative, and she again tried to claim that it was also an error. I told her that she had been lying all along and that she never was pregnant. I told her that we were finished and that I never wanted her to contact me again, which caused her to beg me not to leave her. She promised me that she would change and that she would do whatever it took to get me back. She also said that it was my fault she had to be so deceitful because I was so scared of settling down and kept wanting to wait. I was then informed by her that I didn't understand how much joy a baby could bring into our lives. I told her that I had loved her and tried to make her happy and that she could have had me if she would have waited. But I couldn't be with her ever again after the way she had lied to me and treated me. I also told her that having a child is a huge responsibility and that she needs to learn not to idealize it so. I left after that and haven't talked with her since. I plan to talk to my lawyer about whether or not I need to get confirmation from a doctor that she isn't pregnant and if there's anything else I should do to protect myself. Once again, thank you all so much for your advice. I have certainly learned a lesson from all this and will never again trust a girl when she says she is using birth control. TLDR, I thought my girlfriend was secretly trying to get pregnant, and she was. However, as it turns out, she lied to me about being pregnant and really isn't. Now let's see what the community has to say. Opinion number 1 says, "Thank God, Jesus. This is actually a big relief to me, for you. A happy ending, relatively. I'm sorry about that you found out she was crazy, but this is way better than her being pregnant now or being pregnant with your child years down the road. Good luck, Opus." Where OP replied, "At first, I was really upset, but I think I now have realized that the girl I thought I loved never even existed." Opinion number 2 says, "Good God, man. This is terrifying and brings back terrible memories for me. Don't beat yourself up over it, Opus. It sounds like she is an old hand at manipulation and you shouldn't feel bad about feeling how you did. She sounds like an emotionally abusive person and you are far better off without the emotional baggage she would have eventually unloaded on you. Enjoy your newfound freedom and let it be a learning experience and not an excuse to be mistrusting and bitter." Where OP replied, "I won't become bitter, but it's hard to envision myself trusting another girl as much as I did her. I feel like I need to be much more careful, and I certainly will do my best so as not to become involved with another girl like this." Opinion number 3 says, "You don't need to not trust a girl when she says she's on the pill, but tell any future girls that you just want to be as cautious as possible. If they're sane, they'll understand and won't worry about it. Not to mention, in my personal experience, condom sex is way more simple. You don't have to worry about a messy cleanup or oh shit, hand me the towel, it's getting everywhere on a regular basis. Sorry she turned out to be crazy, but there are trustworthy women out there. When you find the right one, your trust will be deep." How about you guys? What do you think? Leave a comment and let's discuss down below. If you enjoyed it, maybe subscribe and leave a like. It will help my channel a lot and motivate me to make more for you. Thanks for listening and take care.